Welcome, welcome,
Doing some
welcome. Barry
sit-ups.
Sterner seems to have
Gotta
popped
get your
out of the
sit-ups
frame
done.
because he
Gotta get your sit-ups done.
got sick and tired
Yeah, a lot of
of
delays
uh,
going on today.
of me delaying. Before
Like getting on an airplane
let's
with
get
you.
this out of the way. We've got Leader One Leader One Financial Corporation, NMLS 12007.
Excellent. How are you, Zachary?
How are you doing this week, Barry? Not too bad. Not too bad. So for those of you tuning in for the first time, this is a podcast with the two of us, unfiltered, um, giving our true opinions when it comes to mortgages, real estate, finance, politics, pop culture, and anything else we really feel like. Um, so I wanted to start here on the real estate front because I am seeing a lot of pre-qualified buyers and
Are they
they're
running into
all
this
running
guy?
into a similar issue.
Is that the issue?
Um,
No.
yeah, the Pillsbury Doughboy. No, the issue that they are running into is lack of inventory when it
Yeah.
comes to houses on the market. So they're pre-qualified,
And
they're
why do
good
you
to
think there's
go,
no
but there
inventory?
just isn't
Why
a
is there
lot
no
of
inventory, Zachary?
inventory on the market.
Why do you think?
That's a tough
Trillion. It's
question.
supposed to be
That's the
million, but that's
trillion
okay.
dollar
Say
question.
trillion.
Um,
People don't want to move. It's cold outside.
trillion dollar question. So, I mean, it is cold outside. It's like February and it's colder than it was, January or December. Um, but I think there is just a
What do you
lot
think?
of people, they have mortgages that are
They have very
below
low
market
mortgage
rate,
payments and they're kind of
for
happy. They
one,
don't want a
but
higher
it
mortgage
also
payment, right?
has,
Yeah.
sure, but it also has this kind of like snowballing effect where if you are going to sell your home, what are you going to want to do next? Are you going to want to build a tent and live there, or are you going to want to
Well, I
live in
mean,
another home?
you used to be that some people would go rent, right? Until they found another house, but it's hard to find it's hard to find somewhere to rent too.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's hard to find any real estate. So I think that's another problem. Like we've been talking rates, but I think another big problem out there is just that lack of inventory. So people are nervous to go and sell their property because they don't think
Absolutely.
they're going to be able to find another property. And I don't know how
More
you fix
building,
that.
easier permits.
Um,
No, not.
is that happening? See,
I don't know
that's
what permits.
like,
I haven't been watching permits
the
lately.
economist in me from Econ 101 says
Yeah.
that's what happens when there's a shortage, but that doesn't seem to be happening in this case. There's just the housing shortage. I've got these pre-qualified buyers that are finding a property that they want to buy, but then there's 10 other people, you know, getting into a bidding offer, a bidding war
But
with.
what advice would you give to the
Um,
people then, I guess? We could
a
ask ourselves
handful have
questions
won
all day,
them.
but people are listening for answers. What's your answer? What do you do?
My answer is if you are a buyer and you are planning on staying in the same area 3 to 5 years, bite the bullet and you find a place that you like, win that bidding war. Don't be scared to win, because if that's what it's going to take to get that property,
It's not so easy to
Better
to
that
pay
than
over
renting for
someone's
5
asking
years.
price. You know what I'm saying? You go to the store, the chicken's
Mentally
$5, and there's three people there
mentally,
trying to buy the
yeah.
chicken, and you're willing to pay
Yeah.
10 because you're hungry, but you got to eat.
Oh my god. Speaking of the chicken, have you ever been to Costco
Yes, and
when they're out of the
everyone's standing
chicken,
there
but,
waiting.
like,
Yeah,
they're on the
I know.
rotisserie, and everyone's just, like,
But I'll do
waiting
this.
in
I won't
line,
wait. I'll
and
just
there's, like,
go and,
some
because it
people
usually
that are
comes
just
every 20, 25 minutes. I'll go shopping and then come back. But they usually want a
so
particular
you'll go
chicken for
get
some
other
reason. I
stuff
don't know how they
and
know
come
one
back,
chicken's
I
better
get it.
than the next. I never understand. I know what they're looking for,
What
the biggest chicken.
exactly. I
They're all the same
it's like
price. Yeah.
Cindy sure, but to me, it's like Cindy is when she's buying, like,
Yeah.
strawberries or any produce, literally every
She
piece of
sniffs the
produce, she's, like,
produce.
sniffing, she's squeezing, she's looking like I'm like, "Just
Well, they're not.
grab the
Come on.
apples. They all look the same to me."
I'm with
Um,
Cindy.
but all right. So going into some other news, mortgages, we track with the 10-year Treasury. So I'm bringing up that
Kind of
chart.
hanging, hanging
10-year
in.
is still
Yeah.
hovering 4.5%. So really nothing has changed since last week. Um, and as we were talking last week, I think that is the new kind of the new normal. I don't see any reason why
Well, there could
this
be
is going to
some
change anytime soon.
exotic black swan event that occurs. You could get peace somehow or another in Ukraine and in the Middle East. Some other I don't know,
Yeah,
political things could occur, I guess, right? Um, but I mean, are we? You're going to get a
sure.
budget deal here soon. I would assume the Republicans are going to give you a budget deal at some point here, so we kind of see, what they're thinking and where they're at. I mean, if there's cuts in there, that'll make the bond market happy. I haven't seen anything like that on in the news. So we're probably just hanging around here for a while until the next event. What's the next event? That's the question. But how does that affect you as a buyer? You said it before. Sometimes, if you bite the bullet here, listen, if you go get a high rate right now and you're able to afford it, we got to say it over and over because when you have new people listening all the time, you're able to refinance in Illinois at a relatively inexpensive amount. It's not like Florida where there's a transfer tax and all kinds of different things. You're usually able to refinance here, for very little amount of money in the big scheme of things. Max full cost, what, 2,500 or so on a refinance somewhere around there, and so you're kind of safe, I guess, right? If rates go down, you're going to be able to refinance, and there's no prepayment penalties. So I think that's one factor. And then secondly, there is a chance, that inflation continues upward. And I think we talked about this was it 2 years ago? Last year, I'm losing my train of thought when I thought rates were going to go to 8%. We never got to that number, but we got into the low sevens, right?
Right. So just changing gears a little is, the headlines of the financial news, today I'm just bringing up, CNBC about, Dow tumbles 500 points, S&P retreats. And yeah, for
Well,
today,
but it's
it
retreating
doesn't look
from
too good,
all-time
but
highs with the
let me
S&P
remind
500 hit
everybody
all-time highs on, yeah, on yesterday, I think yesterday. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I've just backed it out, you know, and we are where we were just a month ago, which everyone was pretty damn happy about. So, all this reactionary news, um,
don't make
You know,
that don't make
don't let that
don't
get
make
you
that
scared.
into a big deal so that you start drinking
Look at Barry's turning to his
maple syrup baby
potato
water in
vodka
there now.
already. Um, who was it that says, is it Warren Buffett, that time in the market is more
Never heard
important than
Warren Buffett
timing the
say that.
market?
He likes to buy it when people are scared, and he likes to sell when people are greedy. In fact, if you follow Warren
Okay.
Buffett, he has been selling quite a few things, but he's also been buying he takes all his money and buys accidental petroleum constantly over and over and over again for some reason. So um,
I mean, is that him now at
you
this
don't know.
point,
There's
or
two of
is
them, but
this his
accidental has been
chosen
his for a
managers?
long time. So that he's been pouring his money into. I think he's 93 or 94. But I mean, interest rates right now, we've been talking now for 3 years of the hope and the prayer that it goes back down to 3%. Have we not? 3 years?
I mean, it's been a
I mean,
prayer
the
and it's
lowest
been
we've
a
gotten
hope,
has been
but
the low
again,
fives, right? For last August. That's basically where we got to.
yeah, that was let's see here. You're talking since
No, the low fives in
2024.
on our 30-year mortgage. We got to the low fives in August. I think we were what 3.65. I think we got to 3.6 on the 10-year. But anyway, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
But my
yeah, yeah. I mean, but right now, you're right now, your market, 30-year fixed is about a
let me just get to my
7%,
point
a
rather
little
than the
under,
numbers. My point is,
especially if
I'm
you're
agreeing
gonna
with
work
what
with
you
us.
said,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
people that are waiting. I mean, your life is going forward, right? You need a new house for whatever reasons. You need more room. You're having a kid. You want to move, whatever it happens to be. Waiting and waiting and waiting for these interest rates to go down because some guru that you saw on the internet said it's going down, or your neighbor said it's going down. I mean, if you've been listening to Zach and Barry, whether when we're doing this as Townstone or doing it now as leader one, I mean, we've been on the money, saying that we didn't think rates were going down. And there's and there, yeah, and there and yeah,
We truly
oh
have.
yeah,
We should have
we
put
would have
our
been we
dollars
could have
where
retired
our
by now if we would
opinions
have played the
were,
bond market that way.
because
But again, so
yeah,
if you want to buy,
um,
and I'm going back
but
to what
yeah,
Zach
right
said,
now,
and you have your pre-qual out there, and your realtor is with you, and there's I'm not nothing against the realtor. I'm not for or against the ones that you have. I don't know who it is, and they're saying,
no, I'm against you.
well,
whoever's watching, I'm
if
against your
you see a
realtor,
house that you like
whoever you. Nah.
and you can afford it, it's time to pull the trigger, grab that house. I don't, the supply part of this equation isn't going to be changing anytime soon, meaning all these houses are coming on the market. It's just not going to happen.
No, they're not. No, they're not coming to market. So Zach and Barry here, since our change at the beginning of 2025, we have we used to think we had a lot of products. Now we have, I would say, quadruple the amount of products we used to have. Everything, fixed rate, jumbo, non-QM, investor properties, um, self-employed, home equity lines, home equity loans,
Tell us
um,
about bridge loans.
bridge
I haven't done a
loans.
bridge loan in
I've
10
never had
years.
bridge
Tell
loans
us
in my life.
what is a bridge loan and what can we do?
So So a bridge loan is, if you're like most of us, you do not qualify to own two properties at the same time. So, but at the same time, if you're in a competitive market here and you say, "Yeah, I wanna buy you this house, but I want it contingent on the sale of my current house," that seller is not gonna take your offer seriously unless they have no other offers and they are really desperate. Um, what a bridge loan is going to do, um, it's basically a guaranteed purchase contract. They're gonna go, maybe 75, 80% of the market value of the home and guarantee you that purchase contract. Um, and they're gonna give you 90 to 120 days from when you get the place you wanna buy under
So
contract.
they're giving you the
They're gonna give you
equity.
that
You left
money,
out a big
so
part.
now you
They're
can
giving
have
you
a
the
good down
equity in your
payment.
house. If you don't have equity in your house, they're not giving you any money. Yeah, kind of an
Sure,
important piece.
sure. Um, but they're also guaranteeing you if you have some equity, if you have 20%, 25% equity, they're basically going to guarantee, to buy it so you don't lose money. And you do not have to count that property against you in your debt to income ratio because you have a guaranteed purchase contract. Now, that said, you don't want to sell to these people because they're only paying 75 cents on the dollar. So as soon as you get the property you want to buy under contract, you've got that 90 days now to go sell it at 100% market value. And then you get to keep all the excess. This is just kind of like a backup
Backup plan if you
guaranteed
can't.
offer
And it's also a timing
way
thing. If you can't
to
sell your house,
exclude.
you might have a buyer, but maybe the buyer doesn't want to close for, I don't know, 3 months or whatever, and you need to buy the house right in 30 days. It's also another way to use it.
But but again, so there's like within that, there's a lot of different programs to fit a lot of scenarios. Um, and the best way to see what works best for you is to do a one-on-one consultation. So you can call three one two
You
eight
can only
nine
call
six
that number if
twenty
you're
one
not a
hundred,
salesperson.
or you email. Yeah, it's been nonstop salespeople. Um, you can also email Barry, um, Barry and Zach team at leader1.com.
You have
And
that on
that's
the. Do you have that on
BARRY
our email?
and
I mean, on the
AND Zach team
in the
at
description. Thank you.
leader1.com.
I couldn't
Yes,
figure
that's
out
in
the
the
term. It's
description there.
description.
Uh,
No, this doughboy is making me crazy.
So yeah, that would
That was
make
my first
anyone
company I worked
crazy.
for, the
You look
doughboy.
crazy just carrying it. Um, so
What else you
speaking of
got?
all
How
these
about
new
jumbo loans? What are you doing
products
on
and
jumbos?
everything,
Hey, you got anything? Do you
beating
have?
everybody on jumbo
If I'm a
loans. We've got,
realtor out there right
we've
now,
got
you just
fixed
gave me a bridge
rates.
loan. Most people don't have bridge loans. What do you have for me? And you got any good jumbo programs? You have any DPA programs where down payment assistance you can
I've
help
got,
my
I
clients with?
not on
Well,
a
either
not
way.
on
No,
a
I'm saying you got
jumbo,
jumbo
not
and
on a
you
jumbo,
got
but
down
I got
payment assistance
DPA.
programs.
I have
What is that? $5,000 and you don't
IHDA
have to
for
pay it back?
Illinois. Um, there's a variety. There's like three of them. It could be like up to
You hear
seventy
that?
five
Is
hundred
that
dollars,
only first time
but
home buyers?
it's income limited and primary residence without owning other real estate. But there's three programs and there's matrices for each of them. And again, that is why you need to get in touch with us so we can discuss your scenario and go through all of the available options because I've got 100 different options for you, and
But
I'm not going to waste
you
your
can give a
time
couple
watching this
here.
podcast
Is
because
there
99 and of
are there
those
any DPA
you're
programs
just
right
putting me on the
now
spot here,
for
Barry.
teachers, firemen, stuff like that that we have? I was yeah.
Yeah, but not specific because you're a teacher or because you're a fireman.
Someone
I was
asked me
looking the
about
other
that this
day at
weekend.
like doctors. Um a- and it's like what we have for doctors is if you're a resident and you're making no money, but you have a guaranteed contract because you're coming out of residency, we can qualify you on that future higher income with a non-contingent, salary offer. Um, but yeah, those specialty nurse loans, doctor loans, like they're kind of pulling a fast one because it's like it really applies to everybody, but there are individual circumstances where it's like this guideline helps doctors because when you're in residency, you're not making the same as the second you move
Well,
out of
we
residency.
don't have that many
Um,
doctors, but what if I'm an
IHDA,
average Joe and I'm an hourly worker? What do you got for me? I don't make that much money. I'm an average Sally
We
too.
got the average Joe program, average Sally
How low can you go
program.
on credit score
If
right
your
now?
name's a symbol,
You go down to 580 anywhere,
um,
but you got to have compensating
yeah,
factors,
I can
don't
go
you? Don't
down
you
to
have to have some money
580.
in the
It's going
bank
to
or
be
no?
tough. You gotta have some compensating factors. Um, Whether it's money in the bank and or extra income than is needed to qualify. Um, Again, there are 100 plus programs there, and the best program for you is going to be one of them. So give us a call, shoot us an email, and we are going to take care of you from start to finish. The link is in the description. Give us a call, send us that email, um, and yeah, have a hope everyone had a last thing. Did you watch the
I
SNL
watched some of it.
50th
I was kind of disappointed, to be honest
anniversary
with you.
special? Oh, it
Well,
was like a
I watched it
nostalgia
from
trip
the
for me.
I saw it
I
from the
loved
very
it.
be
I
I
loved
watched
it.
it from the very beginning,
Steven,
and you weren't even
Steve
born yet.
Martin, Eddie Murphy, Will Ferrell. I've watched not while it was airing, but how creepy was it or
Belushi,
crazy was it? They
yeah.
shot that
That
film
was confusing to
with
me. I thought
John
someone was faking being Belushi,
Belushi.
and yeah, I know. And he was the
No,
only
it
one
was
alive.
Belushi, and it was like a joke.
Everybody else was dead.
Yeah, yet he was
And
the first one to die. And then at the end, they were holding
they were
up a
holding up Gilda
picture,
Radner.
and Cindy's like, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "That's Gilda Radner," and she's like, "Who's Gilda Radner?" I'm like, "Cindy, you've got some
Culture to
culture to
learn
learn
about.
about,"
I don't know.
but I don't know. I don't know.
Having
Maybe
Paul
again,
McCartney on there made it
my
all good
bad.
anyway. So
But do you think I like the symbolism there? Because it's like we started with Paul Simon doing Homeward Bound, um, and then we end, once there was a way to get
I
back
guess
home. And
if you're seeing your symbolism in there, that's
and the
fantastic. But most of
end,
the rest of us weren't.
but I will end that with the famous quote because I truly believe it. Um, the love the love you take is equal to the love you make.
Never.
Says the
I don't
Beatles
know.
and
I
Paul
don't know that
McCartney.
one.
You don't know that at the end? And in the
I don't know all
end,
the. I don't know
the
the words.
love you take is equal to the love you make. All right. Doesn't matter. We do your loans because you're going to get the best rates, the lowest cost, the best customer service, not the best singing. My
Better than
apologies.
my singing.
Um, but have a great rest of your week, everybody. And
Spring's coming up.
we'll be
Spring's
here
coming up.
and ready for you next week. Hopefully,
Get
with a big
prequalified now
announcement
for spring.
next week.
It's February. I know it's snowing out in up north here. It's freezing out. You cannot go in and go shopping for houses. I mean, we can get you all pre-approved. We can get you all
And not be
pre-approved. We're going to
ready
get
to
your
make an
bank
offer.
statements. We're going to get your W-2s. We're going to get your pay stubs. We're going to have everything in. You're going to be approved so that
It
the
is
buyer,
so
the seller
easy.
knows that you're good to go.
I send you a link. I send you a link if you're one of those people that's on your phone all day. I send you a link. You install the app, you fill out some information, and then it prompts you photo ID, take picture, snap, back of ID, snap, pay stub, snap. I get it all. We get you
You
pre-approved right
have.
away.
Here's the
It
thing.
is
It's
easier
not like
than
the
ever
last time you
before.
purchased a house. If you haven't purchased a house in the last 2 years, it's nothing like that. It's a different marketplace. You need to have an edge up on the next guy. How's that? Right? I mean, a lot of these people are doing cash offers, and sometimes you're going to
Or
have to
girl.
waive contingencies to get a house. I mean, sometimes you're selling contingency. Now, it's usually not a big deal to waive your selling contingency if you qualify, because you know you can sell your house at a number. It might not be the astronomical number in your mind, but at a number that's probably relatively close to what's in your mind because everything's going
Yeah.
up so much, you can get it sold, but you have to be pre-qualified. So and let me add one more thing. And
Let,
you really
let,
need to take a look right
yeah.
now with interest rates being high, if your credit score is on the border of some number. It's usually every 20 points. So if you're a 699 and we can get you to 700, that will give you a better rate, generally speaking. If you're at 719 and we can get you to 720, that will give you a better rate. And every little, I don't know, every little inch helps. Yes. Now. Yes.
Every little bit counts. Um, Last thing, Barry, I have to brag about my victory over the city of Chicago. Um, I have been picking up and dropping off Cindy at the same location for over
Oh, you
5
parked in
years
the
now.
bike lane, didn't you?
November, I got a I got a ticket. No, not in the bike lane,
Oh, and they got the
in
cameras
like a
now.
tow zone or whatever. But no,
A
it
real
was like
human?
a literal ticket, but I was in my car,
Yeah.
supposedly a cop, but
Oh,
I
they
was
didn't hand
in
it to
my
you. They took a
car,
picture, right?
no notification, no
Yeah.
anything.
There's cameras.
I got it in the mail. I didn't even get a picture. I did a virtual e-hearing
Good,
and they
good
waived it.
job.
They dismissed it because I said there was no picture, and I'm not gonna, it's $75. Um, but the city of
Well,
Chicago,
they
you're not
wanted to
taking
lower
my
the speed
money
limit
just
to
because,
25 in all areas of Chicago. That got voted down yesterday, thank goodness. I mean, not that you can go higher than 25 anyway.
I mean, how are they going to enforce it? I agree. Like
But
let's
they
have the
already
school
are.
zones and the parks, like where there's kids about. Yeah, and there's cameras there, and it's like, okay. But in these other areas, like garbage, garbage. Um, so with that note,
Congratulations, Zach.
Zach beat the city of
The
Chicago.
Doughboy
You want to
congratulates
beat
you.
the real estate market, you're going to use